During the Nokia 8.3 5G keynote, the Nokia 1.3 was announced with Google Camera Go, which is said to be bringing a taste of the Pixel's camera prowess to budget phones running Android Go edition. We've managed to go hands-on with the app to get an idea of its capabilities, so let's delve in. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and enable notifications with the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. So for those that don't know, in basic terms, the Google Camera Go app is a stripped back version of the full-fat Google Camera app, the one that's used to help sell the fantastic Pixel camera and sometimes noticeable from Gcam mods. However, while the Pixel doesn't need the biggest sensors or insane camera smartphone hardware, it does wondrous things with software. Google Camera Go is therefore designed to give low-end or modest hardware some of those Pixel post-processing tricks without the need for super-duper hardware, or even modest hardware for that matter. We've tested the modified Google Camera Go APK file on the closest piece of hardware we have to the Nokia 1.3, and that is the Nokia 2.2. Google Camera Go has been deeply integrated into the upcoming Nokia 1.3's camera module, so this might of course not be fully representative of what it's capable of. Plus, the Nokia 2.2 has a slightly higher resolution 13 megapixel sensor. That's just all those things we need to know beforehand. As for the UI, it's definitely very familiar if you've ever used a Pixel or indeed a Gcam port. Then you'll instantly recognise the UI when you fire it up. It manages to mimic that main interface very well. You'll get all of the same main modes on your touch carousel to switch between, and they include photo, video, translate and portrait mode, the same as you'll find on Pixel phones. One major notable absentee though is the low light night sight mode. You can even zoom in using the mini floating magnifying glass. Dragging the slider gets you closer to your subject and therefore the action. And I must admit it's surprisingly smooth considering that most Android Go devices lack a telephoto zoom lens and the processing power to power them. Of course, there's a large shutter button which is flanked by the front facing and rear facing camera switcher. You can also quick access your gallery and therefore recent photos and videos. The top row controls include the customary settings such as a flash, and there's even a neat counter of how much video or photo you can take with your remaining device storage, something that of course is likely useful on smartphones with small storage capacities. When using the video mode, it shows how much time you have left to record, but weirdly there's no option to change recording quality. Because Google Camera Go is designed for very modest hardware, performance is as you'd expect. It's not the most snappy, but there doesn't appear to be any delay when pressing the shutter button or when changing modes within the camera UI. As for the end results, I must say they do look more detailed than the stock camera options, but I have noticed some overblown highlights. That said, the overall dynamic range seems pretty good, and shadow detail in particular are better than the stock camera app. With no HDR modes though, this probably explains the limited dynamic range, and it will obviously depend on the hardware used. Now the signature inclusion is undoubtedly that of portrait mode, and the end results are, I must admit, spotty at best. Edge detection isn't particularly great, with plenty of fringing, but the end results I must admit are far more impressive than I had initially anticipated. It's also worth keeping in mind that this is designed for smartphones costing under $100. So in that regard the results are pretty impressive, especially as only one camera is used. Given that this version of Google Camera Go has been pulled from the Nokia 1.3, the photo resolution is capped at 8 megapixels on the rear-facing camera. We're not sure if this will increase depending on the hardware used either. That said though, even despite our Nokia 2.2 test device having a 13 megapixel sensor, it is still capped at 8 megapixels. As for the front-facing camera, it matches the 5 megapixel selfie camera on the 1.3 and produces far better results than the stock option. Overall, we must admit this is an impressive app that offers those with low-end hardware the neat portrait mode tricks, albeit with mixed results. Alternatively, if you have a high-end smartphone, then it's definitely worth sticking with the myriad of unofficial Gcam ports and steering clear of this. That said, if you want to learn more about the Google Go Camera APK, then we'll leave links in the description, and if possible we'll leave a download link to this modified camera application if you do want to check it out for yourself, but there's no guarantees that we'll be able to do that. That said, this is Damien with 9 to 5 Google saying thanks again for watching. Until next time, I will speak to you later.